This strange city had no men, only countless women. Even the animals within 100 miles were all female. Because of this, they couldn't reproduce, and in the end, they could only grow old alone, shedding tears in solitude. Not only that, but the women all looked nearly identical. Even their behavior and mannerisms were eerily similar. No one could have imagined that two male athletes would be invited to this place to participate in a competition. The woman on the podium stared at them with an almost crazed look in her eyes, as if she wanted to devour them. Even the female spectators on both sides began to cry when they saw the men. At this moment, George and his friends stood at the center of the arena only to realize it was completely empty. The women whispered among themselves, passing some unknown message. A woman standing above began to applaud. She was the leader of the event. Then the competition bell rang. The women charged into the arena like zombies. George, who was more handsome, was dragged up to the podium. The women stared at him intensely, their gazes unnerving. The leader said nothing, and the women around her could no longer contain their excitement. George, on the other hand, felt an overwhelming fear. Then the leader began walking toward George. To his shock, he realized that the woman was his first love from 20 years ago. Back then, George had heartlessly abandoned her, and she had been filled with resentment ever since. Suddenly, the women around them let out strange cries, and George felt utterly hopeless. But unexpectedly, the leader began to cry. Strangely, the other women started to grow restless. Then the leader looked up and let out a loud, haunting scream. Her body began to transform. George was dumbfounded by what he saw. The leader strode toward him. George begged for forgiveness, but it seemed she had no intention of letting him go. Then, she began to absorb George's amazement and life force. In the end, George collapsed to the ground, motionless.